Hello, everyone. The more dire the situation looks in Ukraine, the more obvious it becomes just how much global impact the war is having and global economic and political implications. Case in point, there were numerous pieces today in various news sources talking about Russia's interference in the affairs of other countries. The interference that is unwanted and uninvited. In this particular case, there is a possible case of spying in Austria to interfere with their democratic process and their election results. Prime Minister of Georgia is backpedaling hard after saying that his country needs to be protected from Ukrainization. What does that even mean? I mean, this sounds so much like something Russian media would say. First of all, Ukraine had always supported Georgia, particularly because they have a common enemy, Russia, because Russia had interfered in Georgia and hacked off a piece of its territory. So, Georgia, you should know better. Second, what makes you think Ukraine wants to somehow impose its laws, its language, its culture upon people of Georgia? Ukraine doesn't do that. You're confusing it with Russia, okay? But like I said, the way the statement was worded sounds suspiciously like Russia's interfering. Another one, again, different source, different country, same story. Germany arrested two German-Russian men for possibly spying and plotting sabotage to undermine the aid to Ukraine. Again, they're flipping everywhere. And do not underestimate Russia. Russia, is basically an extension of Soviet Union and had not only continued but improved on and perfected methods for spying and interference using modern technology. So this is hardly a surprise. And the more Russia is allowed to go unpunished for all of these various instances, the more it's going to do the same, more extensively. On the global scale, remember, the world is still recovering economically from the COVID pandemic. COVID hasn't gone anywhere. We just have a better control of it now. But, the aftershocks of the pandemic are still there. There's so much of every aspect of every country's operations, including industry, education, banking, healthcare. So much has been turned upside down and inside out. So that's been going on, and now we have a war. And Ukraine is a major exporter for quite a lot of different products in the world, particularly food products. So the fact that Ukrainian factories, Ukrainian fields have been destroyed or seriously compromised affects global economy. A lot of people out there don't seem to understand that they themselves personally might be getting advantage of what comes out of Ukraine. When is it gonna sink in? So here is International Monetary Fund telling you this is serious. Now, Russia says that its air defense systems intercepted some Ukrainian drones and small-sized balloons, whatever that means. What I can tell you is that that is not entirely true, because apparently at least a couple of those drones have been intercepted using a factory building. I mean, yeah, the drones have been destroyed. So was the building. But of course, in Russian media, you can't find shit like that. They're basically saying it was a grass fire or it was a malfunction and so on and so forth. Ukraine continues to, attempt to persuade U.S. Congress to provide it some help, basically citing the same arguments that have been presented before, all of them valid. Why the war in Ukraine has global impacts in pretty much every area. And I've been talking about this. Lots of very smart people have been talking about this. And yes, the statement World War III has been brought up. And this is not just empty words. This is not just fear-mongering. Bullies don't stop. Putin is a bully. Look what he has done to pretty much every former Soviet republic that was reluctant to resist him or tried to have reasonable diplomatic relationship with him. He barged in, he hacked off territory, he interfered in elections, he interfered with the legislative process. This happened in Georgia, this happened in Ukraine, this has happened in the Central Asian countries, in the stands, and he's attempting to do the same around the world. And Ukrainians are not the only ones saying so. People of Europe are starting to come to a hard realization that this is serious and this is relevant to them. And more than just France, other countries are starting to say, we cannot afford for Ukraine to lose this war. Because no Ukraine, no buffer. No protection for Ukraine, no protection for Europe. Once again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, grab a globe, grab a map, and find Ukraine. Now find Russia and find Europe. Yeah, that makes it very, very obvious. We'll see how things go in the House of Representatives. We'll see how things go in the European government. But there is a hope for speedy resolution somewhere, because as Ukraine's Prime Minister Shmyhal said, we need that money yesterday. He's right.